All right. What's up, guys? We're on. We're live. What a shaking. My astute longtime viewers will realize that I just switched up my headphone set. I was talking about it during a cast in the last couple weeks. So I got these from Defender Shield, and they have the speakers down on the bottom. I'm like, this is not a paid endorsement or anything. I just really like the product. Except for these little things that stick in your ears. They get annoying after a while. So I got the overhead versions I just released. Same thing. Speakers are down here. They send the sound up an air tube. Anyway, that's the new setup for tonight. So what are we doing tonight? We're talking about sitting out versus playing the game. And this is going to be a good one. You guys are in for a treat. I hope a lot of you guys that need to hear this message too, because this is definitely before the train wreck type of material. Here, let's kick it off with this. I got a quote here. There it is. Let's throw it up. Theodore Roosevelt. Roosevelt. I don't know how to pronounce it. We'll go with Roosevelt. No, that doesn't work out good. Let's try to adjust this so it fits the screen better so you guys can see it. That's as good as it gets. All right. I'll just read it out for those of you guys that can't see it or you're listening to the podcast recording. He says, "It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes short again and again, because there is no effort without error and shortcoming. But who does actually strive to do the deeds, who knows great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at the best knows, in the end, the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who neither know victory nor defeat." The man in the arena. Get familiar with the quote. It's from a famous speech. If you're not down with American history or thought leaders, there's a song by Guns N' Roses back in the day. I don't know if it was on Use Your Illusion or Appetite for Destruction, but you can find it. It's called Get in the Ring. And it ends with mofo as Axl starts to recite the lyrics. It's similar to the Roosevelt speech. It's just kind of like peppered throughout the song. So I'm going to grab the join link here for you guys earlier on. So invite, copy to clipboard. I'm going to do a little bit of a montage before I'm going to bring some of you guys in, but I just want to drop the link in here so you can start to queue up, because I know there's a lot of people that want to have a word on this one and ask a question. Boom. Okay, so it's a StreamYard link. Make sure you got a good internet connection and your mic's working. You have a microphone. There's a private chat when you enter. So let me know what question or what topic you want to talk about when you get in. Hey, welcome, Chris. Chris is a long-time gentleman I've been chatting with. Also lives in Ontario. Looks like you just joined the private chat. Welcome, brother. Okay, so I dropped that link. The other bit of housekeeping I got to do before we get started, copy. And if you guys are watching this over somewhere on, the other internets, do me a solid and hit that YouTube link and come join me over on YouTube. It just helps me out with the algorithms. And if you are here, smash the like button. Let's get started. We got 300 plus guys watching and 86 likes. Smash it. Get it up for me, please. Thank you. All right. So let me just go through my description here, because I put a couple of talking points in here. There's really two things that I'm seeing guys do. Now, I did a little bit of a pitch on this on my Instagram stories and on the Twitters and so forth. And what I'm really saying is there's a lot of guys running around as red pill masturbators. There's no other better way to say it. You're simping. You're basically simping for other creators, or you're simping while not doing anything yourself. They're simping for women, they're simping for guys, believe it or not. A great example of simping for men, you see them on all over Elon Musk. Anytime he says anything, buy this token, See what he did with Dogecoin and see what he did with Bitcoin. He knew full well when he made that tweet talking about energy consumption, what he was going on about and what he was doing. But all the sheep, they're simping for Elon Musk. Got to buy his cars, fly those rockets. Let's all go watch the rockets take off. They're just simping for the guy. It's a perfect example of it. All right. Whoa, we got a lot of guys piling into the waiting area. Let me know in the private chat, guys, what it is you want to talk about, what pointers you want to hit or add on, if you have an experience or if it's just a question. So the two things that you'll start to notice men do in this space, this men's self-improvement space, is they'll just sit and watch. Two different things that they'll watch. They'll either watch drama unfold. It's like the Jerry Springer of... I don't know if you guys remember Jerry Springer. Maybe that's dating me, but he used to run this talk show. And one of the more common topics he would have would be, is it your baby sort of episodes? And, hypergamy, alpha fucks, beta bucks sort of things. You'd see it unfold right in front of you on Jerry Springer. And it was just the indignation, it was a drama. And they get on fights on stage and they have security come in. And it was just a total train wreck. And you see a lot of guys in the sphere, if you will, the mano swamp, as I like to call it, is what it's turned into, chasing drama. And it's like they'll go from one guy to the next guy to the next guy, and it's like, oh, let's see who he's talking about over here. Oh, there's a video on this guy over here, and I don't think I like this guy, so let me watch it. And it's hilarious because a lot of the times, dudes will send me, an email or a DM, and they'd be like, "Oh, somebody did a video on you that you got to see. It's, it's a hit piece." It's like, dude, I don't even have time to watch videos of my friends. Some of my friends are on YouTube. You guys already know that, and I don't even have time to watch their shit half the time. Why would I waste my time and resources watching some Muppet make up shit? Right? Get in the ring. See, you guys have noticed, or you should have noticed by now, over the last month or so, I've been inviting haters to come onto the show with what it is that they want to talk about. Okay. They're always like, oh, I have a better solution to your problem. Okay. Click the link, join in. Let's hear what your solution is. But have you seen one come on in the last 2 months? Not one. Not one. I've had people that wanted to discuss some ideas in an intelligent fashion, which was wonderful, but I haven't had a hater be like, hey, look, man, I got a way better solution than you. You're an idiot. This is my solution. Boom. Doesn't exist. Does not exist. Got a quick super chat here. Frank Sunatra. Not Sunatra. Already reading through the first chapter of your book. Loving it. Cheers all the way from Kitchener. Shout out to Kitchener Waterloo, the Twin Cities. It's about 3 hours away from me. Southwest. So you got the drama part of it, which you guys see all the time. There's hit pieces on me, friends of mine. It's like, and I've said this many times before, and it bears repeating again. Hate only ever comes from beneath you. Nobody ever gets jealous of losers. It's always somebody that admires and envies you. And rather than doing the work to build an audience in a productive fashion and deliver useful content, what they do is they manufacture drama. The other side of that too is you see a lot of drama in the sense of, oh, look at this article, look at this whatever. And this is why you should just completely avoid women, guys. Just stay away and just completely avoid women because this article or this blah, 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 and it's just going to be a total nightmare for you. But they don't offer any real solutions, right? So you got to ask yourself, am I sitting in the stadium learning anything? If you're not, why are you watching it? Okay. If you're sitting in the stadium and you're learning something, great. Now, what I want you to do is rather than go to the next channel, the next guy, the next content creator, and the next and the next and next, actually get in the fucking arena and start doing something with the knowledge that you've acquired. I can't tell you how many guys will approach me and ask me for help and try to get feedback on something that they're stuck on. Yeah, Moff's in the chat. Dogs only bark at moving cars. Exactly. And, help me out with this, that, and the other thing. It's like, I feel like I should make it a prerequisite. Can you do at least 30 push-ups, 10 chin-ups, and skip rope for 5 minutes or run a mile or something like that? Like, can you do basic shit like that before you start asking me to help you get the girls? Right? There's a lot of work guys need to do internally, and sitting in the stadium, in the bleachers, watching other people chase excellence while you sit there and just, one of the things that drives me nuts is like when you see guys at, after sporting events are like, yeah, we won. We won. No, you didn't, dude. You didn't play the game. You sat in the fucking bleachers and you clapped. You get what I'm saying. There's another form of sitting it out and drama and indignation that we've seen a lot more of these days, especially in the last year. And it's, let's see if we can own these girls. Let's see if we can make them look bad. Let's hold them accountable. Men, stop trying to hold women accountable. Hold yourself accountable. When you get up in the morning, you look in the mirror and that man looks back at you. Hold that guy accountable. Stop trying to hold women accountable. Stop consuming red meat where you're like, yeah, he got her, taught her a lesson, flames, boom, yeah. What are you learning from that? Tell me, what are you learning from that? Are you there for entertainment? Fine, entertain yourself, but are you in the ring? Entertain yourself all day long. I'll kick back. I'll throw on a show. You know what I've been watching lately that I've really enjoyed? I really like Jeremy Clarkson, okay? Big fan of Top Gear, the Grand Tour. He's got a series on Amazon now called Clarkson's Farm. So I've been kicking back, enjoying that. But guess what? I am in the arena. I am on the floor. I am playing the game. Okay. I'm not just sitting on the sidelines entertaining myself. So be careful with that. Okay. Don't sit on the sidelines consuming entertainment, drama, and red meat when you got nothing going on the floor. Can you do at least 30 push-ups straight? Can you do those 10 chin-ups straight? Can you skip rope for 3 to 5 minutes without tripping or losing your breath and falling over? Most guys can't. Where's my book? I know I've talked about it. It's an important read. The feedback has been phenomenal. One of the things I talk about in my book, and I've talked about in other videos, is you have an obligation as a man to do something of some significance. I don't care what your dent in the universe looks like. I don't care if you go the Steve Jobs route and completely change handheld telecommunications. I don't care if you go the Elon Musk route and build electric cars and fucking rockets. I don't care if you're the guy down the street that makes the best gelato that I've ever had, right? I don't care. Put a dent in the universe. Figure out what that purpose is that you need to go about doing for yourself, right? It's sure as fuck not sitting around watching other people chase excellence or do something. And here's the other thing too. Like a lot of guys like to, oh, Rich, you're a snake oil salesman, man. You're a shit. You're making all this money off this crypto course. That's my favorite one lately. I don't promote anything anymore right now except for Charlie and Miguel's Cultivate Crypto course, which I should actually mention because it does close tonight. If you're on my email list, you would have got an email about that. I rarely email it. I normally send out a video monthly with my behind the paywall premium content that I'm slowly releasing over time. So if you want to get on my email list, I should probably put up the banner. Where is it? There it is, ticker. Okay, I'll leave that up. You should get on that email list. You get the free chapter on the red flags, and you'll also be able to stay in communication whenever I've got an offer or something like that. Anyway, so you're ripping off people with this cryptocurrency course. Dude, just don't buy it. I don't fucking care. Stay poor. Stay uninformed. Trust the government. If that's what you think the solution is to the world's debt problems and money and securing your financial future, why don't you just trust the government? Let the government take care of you, because they're good, because they've done a really good job at it. If that's what you want to do that. It doesn't matter. But people get so worked up and bent out of shape, right? And they go on manufacture indignation and drama. Man, I got 1,000 free videos on my channel. I take call-in shows and help people out publicly for free. You're a shill though, because you're talking about a cryptocurrency course. Anyway, let me grab the link for that. Since I'm such a shill, I may as well maintain that reputation, right? Crypto predictions. There's the video I did the other day. And if you are interested, do yourself a solid and get this thing. Yes, it's an affiliate link. Yes. Yes. Anyway, there it is. Closes at midnight tonight. It is worth its weight in gold. Or don't buy it. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. If you think stonks are better, buy AMC, buy GameStop, buy bars of gold. If you think that that's a better solution, do it. Doesn't matter to me. All right. We catch up here on some of these super chats that have piled in. First chapter. book. Unsung Hero says, bought your book on Friday, cleared it by Sunday. Maybe reflect on my last date. She's in her 30s and clearly had baby rabies. On to the next one. Dude, that was the whole point of the book, was to take all of the best stuff that I'd come across personally through my own experience coaching the hundreds, it's been well over 1,000 now, actually, men, and just distilling it down into a quick read you can get done in one day. I'm currently applying to what you teach at Total Debt Freedom. You're reaching the Black community in Dallas, Texas. Dude, awesome. TDF is a business I started in 2003. There's a YouTube channel, and if you don't already know this, I do a show with my brother every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. on that channel. So if you want to learn about money and personal finances and debt, just search on YouTube for Total Debt Freedom, because we dive into a ton of topics on there. Show's called Money Mornings. So cool that you guys are finding that. And Frank dropped another super. Charlie just did a podcast with FNF. I can vouch for Charlie's course. I'm in it, by the way. Yeah, it's a solid course, man. I've gone through all the material. It's been a game changer for me. It's made me a ton of money. It's certainly enlightened me in areas that I didn't think that existed. I mean, I thought I knew what DeFi was until talking to Charlie and Miguel, and they've always been very generous with their time. So anyway, if you want to learn about crypto, that's a link. Dumped a girl I was dating after reading your book, going to buy a motorcycle. Dude, you were the guy that sent me that. You put me in a story on Instagram today. I thought that was hilarious. Yeah, I shared that. Good for you, man. If you're discovering that you're about to, turn your life into a train wreck by inviting one into it, and you stop that before it happens, good for you. All right, I think I've covered it from an overview. I kind of want to start inviting you guys on. So let's try to keep it on topic with the whole notion of sitting out versus playing the game. What has your experience been watching content on the social platforms and the YouTubes and all that? Am I right? Am I wrong? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you have a better solution? Let's see what you got here. So I got some private chats here. I wanted to touch your point on that. It's perhaps making too many men black-pilled. So that's Andrew. Where are you? All right, Andrew, you're coming into the stream. And
how's it going?
Good, man. How you doing, brother?
I'm not too bad. So yeah, I think watching all the content, I think it's good. I think the problem is with a lot of guys is they're taking it way too, I guess, literal, and that they're taking it way too extreme and becoming black-pilled. And then, they're going on these posts, bashing you, like the one you posted today on Twitter, or, you got these other guys that are just going way too far on the other spectrum.
That guy was in black-pilled. He was a gay guy that didn't like my clips.
Okay, yeah, that's. But yeah,
but it was all manufactured indignation. Like, it's basically like a Karen hissy fit, right?
Yeah, exactly. I'm
Dude, have you ever dated women? Like, have you ever been married to a chick? Like, how would you even know you're gay?
Exactly.
Right.
You don't. But
that's what you got.
Yeah, I noticed that. Like a lot of them.
But yeah, there's a lot of the blackpilling from this. And that's fine. Like, I understand that, some of this shit is not comfortable and it doesn't make you feel good. But guess what, guys? That's part of life as a man. Life is going to be, it's like there's going to be discomfort. The problem is too many guys have been bubble wrapped their entire lives, and their mommies have helicopter parent them, and everybody gets a participation trophy now. So, why try?
And the bubble wrap's only going to get thicker as the years progress. But you know what? I think people got to start understanding. You got to focus on you. And that's the only way to go. But yeah, no, I think I'm seeing it a lot with past friends.
Can you give me an example of a black pill content creator where we can actually see them?
There isn't any.
They have a face. They have something going on.
I haven't seen any personally. I just see it in comment sections of any of the red pilled creators.
There's like an avatar if there's a commenter, or if it's a content creator, then it's generally like voiceover, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. So I mean, I always have said to you guys, always consider your source. Consider the source. Consider the source. I've said it so many times now, right? How do you evaluate the source of that information?
Well, I mean, I look at it as, first of all, I go and look at their profile, whether it's, let's say it's on Twitter. If you got to look at I always look at their tweets.
Okay.
Never mind their replies. And if their tweets are very I don't know what the best way to describe it. If their tweets are very black pilled or beta, then I'm not going to listen to you, because you obviously don't know what you're talking about. You know what I mean?
Well, it's not even that, Andrew. I mean, like the point that I'm making is, how do you establish that the source is a good, reliable source of information? Like, if I tell you guys, put your self-care first, learn combat sports, but you take a look at me, and I'm built like a pear. Okay, I've got no muscle, definition or tone, but I do, because I work out, because I lift, because I go and train 3 times a week, and I box. Then, why would I put that in my book, talking about learning combat sports? Because I'm doing it myself, right? And I want you guys to see that I'm doing it myself, because I'm in the arena and I'm on it, right? But then, if that's not good enough, then it turns into something else. Like the new thing, lately is, where's your receipts, Rich? Why don't you show us your girl? Why don't you show us? It's like, why would I show you my chick, right? Half of you are going to jerk off to her, and the other half of you are going to say, like, or eyebrows are slightly not straight perfectly, or something like that. Like, there's no logic when it comes to, let's sit back and hate.
It's like
absolutely none.
It's like the whole I don't mean to go on the whole pandemic thing, but it's like the vaccine passport, but applying that to these other things.
Yeah. There. Sorry. Make sure this doesn't fall over here. Yeah, it's completely insane. What do you got going on there, Andrew? You got to run? All right, here, I'm going to pull you out. You let me know when you're free. See what's going on in the private chat here. So, guys, if you're in the waiting area in the back, just in the private chat, let me know what it is that you want to hit on, just so I can organize these. The general questions I'm going to leave till after, so hold on, Red Man. Tom, can a woman who's... I want to try to keep this on topic, guys. Sitting out versus playing the game, right? Like I started, yeah. There's, we've got the rational male. I got 20 years and 4 books of receipts. Exactly, right? Dude's been doing this, like, I think longer than anybody else out there that still has their head screwed on, right? There's a lot of guys that go completely offside, i.e., like Roosh, for example. But it's just nuts that you've got these guys flicking boogers at you, but who are you again? Like, would I trade my life for yours? And then there's people that follow that, and they actually believe, like, they actually think that that's a good use of their time. They actually think that that's what they should be doing. No, it's terrible. Terrible use of your time. All right, let me go back to this. Here we go, privates. Guys, in the private chat area, let me know what it is that you want to talk about, and we'll bring you in. All right, I'll just make sure that I make time and space for you. So Redman, Tom, you guys are talking about women. We got Saul here talking about motivation. All right, well, if you guys aren't gonna drop in, let me grab the link here. Invite, copy to clipboard. Okay, hop in and ask a question. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a boomer that doesn't know what he's talking about, huh? Is that what it is? Okay, boomer. I've run multiple businesses, generated 7-8 figures worth of receivables. Wealth is up there. Cryptocurrency's dope. I buy supercars that I want, but don't listen to me. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm in my late 40s. I'm jack tan, juicy as hell. Got 6-pack abs. Have no trouble with women. Don't bother. It's not worth it. Look at these bitches. They ain't nothing but hoes and tricks. Really? All right, let's see what we got here. We got Moff in the background here. I'm going to pull him in. What's up, buddy?
Hey, you got me?
I got you.
I was going to say I can hang out here for a little bit and you can bring some others in, but...
No, I'm just going through all these questions, and people are asking me, about stuff that's not related to the topic. So I want to deal with the topic tonight. Before we were actually talking earlier this afternoon about this. Like, do you want to drop some wisdom on the guys out there watching right now? If you guys don't know who Moff is, he's a community member. He's been on here before. He actually came onto the show many months ago and was like, I screwed up. I got this problem going on right now with my breakup. What do I deal with it? And you know, credit to him is he's actually decided to jump in, get on the arena floor, and do the work on himself. And I mean, you know, you were saying earlier today, like your life's never been better, but I don't want to be putting words in your mouth. I'll leave the floor to you. You tell guys what's up from your perspective, you know, as you view it.
Yeah, man. I mean, look, I'm having more success in my career, my social life, and with women than I ever have in 29 years. And now part of that is realizing my value skyrocketing or getting better as I get older, and that comes with understanding and reading the material. I think I dove in head first. I think that's something that really helped me is that I didn't kind of like dip a toe in or just go into my waist and then say there was something I saw today where a guy's like, well, the whole purpose of the red pill is to get the information and leave. And I couldn't disagree more with that because it's not what it is. It's a never ending.
I'm just going to stop you for a sec. It's not to get the information and then leave. It's to get the information, update your beliefs, then apply it.
Right.
Because I have seen people, like even in my community, like I've seen guys come in and they kind of get red pill. They go through the material. We do a ton of Q&A, you know, Zoom sessions, some coaching and stuff. And then they start to, I don't know, like they want to get right with God or something, or there's something else that distracts them from it. And they just kind of go back to their old ways. So you don't want to get the information and leave. You want to get the information, update your beliefs from the comforting lies to the uncomfortable truth. Start using it, getting the results. I mean, if you want to leave, right? But, you know, start using it and getting the results. But yeah, to those points.
I equate it to, and when I have conversations, it's like, look, what the red pill basically is doing is you're a football coach for my American guys out there. And it's the opposite team is handing you their playbook and is saying, these are the plays we're going to run in this order at this time. Here's who's getting the ball. Here you go on a silver platter. And the guys that take the red pill, okay, we've got the strategy. Now we're going to adjust. We may have to make some changes. We may have to tweak what we were planning on doing. But we have the blueprint. We know how to get there. We know how to have success. And the blue pill guys and the angry guys are saying, well, that's not how it's supposed to be. And they light the playbook on fire. So, you know, the
problem is that the playbook actually requires work. There's training, right. There's diet, there's nutrition, there's, you know, chiropractors, there's doctors, there's physiotherapy, there's all these people you have to deal with. And then they're like, well, that's covered in work. Like that's dressed in overalls and it looks like work. Why would I want to do that when it's easier to just sit over here with the other guys and sulk?
I think the biggest thing I run into is how little guys value their time. And, you know, this came up in a conversation today that we had where, you know, everyone's looking for strategy or, you know, quick tips or this and that, or how do you do this or how do you strategize? It's like, if you're busy, man, if you're out there chasing excellence and you're on your purpose and you're out there making bank and you're out there in the gym trying to sculpt your body and get that swimmer's body and get those broad shoulders and some waist, you don't have time to sit there and watch a bunch of red meat and watch takedowns on YouTube, right? You just don't. Like, if you do, you've got a problem and you've got way too much time on your hands.
So ask yourself that question. Like, do you think Jeff Bezos, do you think Elon Musk, do you think like any of these billionaires out there that we all sit around and watch on like Shark Tank and Dragon's Den, you know, like whatever shows, like, oh, look at these guys, they're so interesting. And it's like, literally Elon Musk broke Bitcoin for like a fucking month because of a tweet. Like that's how much people simp for Elon Musk and what he says. Right. But do you think that he's sitting around watching fucking takedown videos? Do you think he's watching like, don't bother. It's not worth it. Like, forget about trying to send rockets to the moon, Elon. Just sit back and, you know, just sit on your cash and buy an island or whatever. Right. It doesn't go that way.
And the worst part of it all is that what that stuff does, and well, I guess the lack of, one of the bad parts about this red meat is the lack of like actionable advice. It's the lack of, okay, how do we take this and apply this? This is what I think obviously really liked about your stuff. This is what I really like about Paul's stuff. This is even what I kind of love about Rolo's stuff is he's like, hey, I'm just giving you, I just work here, man. Right. I'm giving you information. Yeah. You're the one that's got to get in the game and get in the arena.
Yeah.
But then you've got these guys that say, okay, well, I want a woman that is submissive and she's agreeable and she needs to cook and she needs to clean.
Yeah. But are you a guy worthy of that?
And that's the kicker. It's, well, you know, I don't know what happened, man. I stood up for myself and she gave me, this and that, and I drew a boundary, and then she told me to go F myself and left for another guy. It's like, all right, well, look in the mirror, man. Like, how many chins do you have? 2, 3?
Mhm.
Too many, right? What are your hobbies? Are you a high value guy, right? Do you have options? All of these things where if you're going to try to flex your muscles and you don't have any, then no one's going to take you seriously. And that's where the black pill stuff comes in. I think I said this early in the chat. Like, the black pill is a result of guys that they don't have a chance because they're not willing to do the work. And they look at that and they say, she should just like me for me, man. She should just love me for the way I am. And if she doesn't, then, that's her problem or that's her fault, or then screw her because all women are, this and that, and all women are that. And it's like, look, you've got the game, right? You can either play or not play, but you can't change it. It's the only game in town. So it's up to you, man. And you know what? Like, if you want to be black pilled and you want to go your own way and you want to say, forget all that, that's fine. More for me and you. But don't go poisoning the well with your nonsense because you're afraid to do the work. Don't make it harder for us guys out there that are willing to put time into the gym, make the money, make our career. And again,
I'll tell you this though, there's an upshot to that too, though. So, to give those guys some credit, they end up outing themselves because at some point somebody trips across their material before they might come to like me or Rolo or listen to your stereo show, for example. And they're like, okay, let me check this out. This is interesting. And they start to watch it. And then they come across something like, oh, like Rich, Rolo, and Ryan are all shit or something like that. And here's why. It's like, and then they go to themselves, well, this guy sounds like a bit of an idiot. So let me go see who these other guys are. And then they kind of like they're free advertisers for us almost. And they don't even realize it. So there's an upside to it. You got to look for the silver lining and stuff. And that's something that I've been preaching to men for a long, long time is you don't lose in life. You need to learn. In every scenario, in every event, doesn't matter if it's a divorce, you broke your heart, you got fired for whatever reason, you go right down the list. Don't lose, learn. There's a lesson somewhere in that you can apply to your fucking life and level up so that you don't make that same mistake again. And share those experiences with other guys so they can, get some use out of it. But, well, this guy's a nerd, so you should all say he's a nerd too. And yeah, and
I think that's a really great point. Like, that's hard to do, right? As some guy, like, for example, right, going back and having to relive your failures and relive stuff that you did wrong, like, that's painful, right? For myself and my relationship. It means
taking ownership, right?
100%, right? And I equate it, this past relationship and this breakup. I talk about it like, hey, man, it's a house that burned down, okay? The house is now burned down. Now you have two options. You can just say, house is burned down. It's not salvageable. There's no point. I'm just going to go find another house. Or you go sift through the ash pile and say, how did this happen? Was this too close to that? How could this? You go through the rubble, man, and you figure out what could have been different and what could you change. Because all this, if you don't, you're just going to burn down the next one and burn down the next one and the next one and so on and so forth. So it's much easier just to throw your hands up and say, screw it, like on to the next one, this, that, and the other. And that's what a lot of these guys get wrong. It's like, like Nexter, like, or whatever it is, or you messed up, just forget about it and move on. And it's like, no, like, take the time and go through it and really do the work. And I think that's, not to toot my own horn here or anything like that, but I think that's a difference that I've found between me and a lot of other guys is that I did not, like I said earlier, I jumped in this thing head first. I was like, all right, I'm gonna, Jerry in the house. Wow, look at this.
We got the crew, man.
Look at the smiley crew. Wow. Look at this.
I figured I'd just add them all in and just make them part of the party while you're on your rant.
Yeah.
I know they might want to chime in while we're doing this because we were talking earlier this afternoon. So, guys, welcome. Say hi to Jerry and Charles as well. Also, brothers from the tribe. But anyway, go ahead, Moff. Carry on.
The only thing I was going to finish with is that really learning the stuff, and it was drinking out of a fire hose for a while, but I didn't learn this stuff from watching Red Meat, right? It was getting out in the field. It was applying it. It was getting better with women. It was learning social skills. It's just like practice, man. I mean, when I first got back out into the game 6-7 months ago, I was going out on dates and I didn't know what the hell I was doing, right? It's been so long since I tried to court a woman and be romantic and be seductive. And I had to relearn all of that stuff. And it was the material plus the work and the effort equals results. So you can't do half of either. You got to do both. You can go out there and you can you can meet women, but if you don't know what you're doing, you're not going to have success. You can read the material until your eyes bleed, But if you're not out in the game, you're not going to have success. You got to do both.
I gotta sit back and just like say this because it makes me very proud to see you three men on this show with me tonight, because I know where all three of you have come from and all of the obstacles that that like fell in your path that you actually made the way. I've quoted Ryan Holiday's book, The Obstacles Away, before. I'm mentioning it again. You should read it. But obstacles will fall in your way as a man, and quite often you can make the obstacle the way. Don't always have to. You can go around it, over it, dig under it, whatever. But that's part and parcel of it. It makes me proud to see that at least all of the shit that I've done, and with all the nonsense that goes out there, at least you three men have done something with your life, and you've leveled up in a way that I can say that at least that I feel proud in being able to contribute to part of that.
Thanks, Dad.
Anyway, floor is yours, Jerry and Charles. You guys want to chime in too?
Yeah,
Hey,
actually,
I'll go ahead, Charles.
thank you. Actually, I did not expect to be on the show at all. I was just coming up to quickly leave a note in the comments, and I was going to go to the gym, and then I am here, so I'll just make my point.
Thank you.
I've started to notice that the Menno Swamp has taken on certain traits of a cult. It's almost going the way of a lot of the leftist organizations. I don't want to refer to anything right now that's happening right now. But if you look back into the 60s, like the Weatherman Underground, they have these slogans like "Don't trust anyone over 30" or "Don't trust anyone over 40," and all these slogans that you hear about in these socialist organizations. And there are these priests that are preaching these values while repeating these lingos, and then the cultists, the acolytes, the followers, are just constantly repeating these things. And I think one thing I found about Rich's work is that if you actually make a commitment to yourself and to do these things, you don't need those lingos. And there are no high priests. There is no ideology. In fact, when you bump into a wall, let's say you go out and you do 5, 10 day game open approaches, and you get rejected out of all of them, it's actually pretty painful. And you're the only person who feels that pain. There's no amount of labels or slogans that can substitute that experience. And it's only from those very solitary experience that you go through as you put in the work, independent of what you read or what other people have been repeating next to your ear. It's only through that you grow. And when I go out on a workout session and I do these compound exercises, I don't stop until I feel the pain. I mean, I have tendonitis right now, but I'm still gonna go and do it. So that's all from me.
Thank you, Jerry.
Yeah, hey, I'm going to chime in. We show up, guys show up to this community, and we're looking for answers. We're desperate. We don't know what to do next. And I stumbled across Rich's channel. And, there was a lot of other stuff that was intriguing to me. And, we navigate towards the guys that tell us how to get the girls. Mm-hmm. If you want more subscribers, let's talk about how to get the girls. That's really easy. But Rich was talking about doing the work, and it was like, well, what does that mean? Well, it started out with hey, lose some weight. Okay, I've lost some weight. I've got some more to lose. I've gone out of pant size, which is I've been the same pant size for 10 years. That's exciting. And these other guys out there just peddling indignation. Oprah made $1 billion, peddling indignation, excuse me. And I don't know, your self-worth is not tied to your notch count. That's something that I kind of fell for that trap when I first showed up. And these other guys out there, Rich, they're not helping men. They're actually hurting them. I believe that. Being part of your community and seeing how much love there is between us, and new guys showing up and, their life's a mess and things start to get better. They lose weight. They make more money. I mean, it's fantastic. I feel so happy to be part of this group, you know. And Moff, I mean, I saw you show up, and man, it's exciting. Now you're on stereo. You're the most, what is it, the most hated man on stereo?
Most
Something
hated
like
man in the
that,
stereo app.
Yeah. So if you want to talk to Moff, hop on stereo, that new app. It's a lot of fun, and Moff's
See-
there. Yeah.
See, like right here, like this is the typical example of like, you know, you're like clown out there, right? Moff's a virgin, right? Dude, are you getting any? Because all I see is an avatar picture of somebody that's obviously not you, right? It is what it is.
Yeah. And I just, you know, you talked about updating your belief system. You know, I went through a pretty awful divorce, pretty hard on me. A couple kids involved, a lot of lawyers, and if I wouldn't have found your channel, I probably would have ended up in another marriage quickly and unhappy and working my ass off and being treated like a doormat, and I don't want that. So you know, now I'm able to make choices, and you know, the women in my life, you know, if they don't, I'm going to use the word behave, which probably will turn a few people off, but if they don't behave in a way that is acceptable to me, I'm done with them. It's quick, it's easy, and what do you say? Hire slow, fire fast?
Right.
Same thing. So
Same thing with women.
yeah, and another thing that we want to share with the guys, you know, that are new here looking for some answers. You're not going to be able to make a dent in the universe if you're busy chasing women and watching all these videos over and over and subscribing to this and that. It's a big waste of time. Pick somebody you like. I suggest Rich. You can follow Paul with Apex Mindset. Fantastic guy. Moth, he's an up and comer. And we'll set you straight. These guys are good. So yeah, that's
Yeah.
great, Rich.
Yeah, thanks, Jerry. Appreciate that, man. All right.
Hey,
I'll let
one
you
more
go.
thing. One more thing before I get off. Hey, I saw something. It was pretty cool. That I don't know how to say his name. Robert Kawasaki with the Rich Dad channel. Yeah, he mentioned your name today.
Yeah,
Rollo's channel. So
yeah, I saw
if
that.
you're listening, Robert, come on Rich's show. There's a lot of men that would love to hear your story.
Yeah. Well, like the interesting thing about what he's been doing, because I read Rich Dad Poor Dad about 15 years ago. I actually met Robert about 10 years ago at a conference. He probably would not remember me, but it's kind of funny that I came across his stuff because I wanted to get red pilled on money. And now he's kind of like leaning into Rollo's work. And, you know, as an extension of that, it sounds like he's also watched some Before the Train Wreck too. So it's cool, man. You know, like I'm glad that we're able to get there. And like the whole point of why I wanted to do this and why I keep wanting to do this is because I want to move the bar in guys' lives, right? Like I want to red pill a guy like Elon Musk so he's not doing stupid shit in his personal life with women and putting out dumb tweets like he does sometimes. But you get the point, right? Like I want to get guys' heads screwed on so right that they can be a weapon in their real life. And I've seen Moff doing that. I've seen you doing that, Jerry, and well over 500 other guys, you know, in the community that have been doing the work in that area. And it feels good that by extension, that's what I'm doing, because I haven't really talked about this before, but it was what the hell's his name is? He's an Irish guy that I met at a conference, and dude actually made me fucking like bust up when he was talking to me specifically about finding your purpose. You know, essentially, you've got a talent, you know, in life, but you've also got a purpose, right? Like you have a gift, right? And when you find that gift, like you got to double down on it. And a lot of guys, you know, will confuse talents, you know, with gifts. Like I'm sure we're all talented at different things, but there's something out there that when you're doing it, you know that this is your gift, right? And this is basically what I feel like I'm doing. So I'm very happy with that. I'm going to continue to do it. Haters can hate. All you're doing is you're just providing free marketing and sending smart guys that watch you my way. So keep doing that. That's fine. And guys, if you want to sit in the stadium watching the entertainment and the drama and the red meat, look for the lesson if one exists, for crying out loud. If it doesn't exist, then stop watching the crap. And the other thing following that up is get in the arena and play the game. And I'm not just talking about the game of chasing the girls. I'm talking about be purposeful in your life. Be a weapon. Are you effective? Like if if it was called upon you to fight somebody in hand-to-hand combat, could you do it? Could you at least try to defend yourself, or do you fold? Right? Can you make bank? Like, can you take care of your kids? Can you take care of your household? You know, if you got a woman or women in your life, are you effective in all areas? It's not just, oh, let me just get my notch count up. That's like counting how many times you exhale. Well, I inhale 10,000 times today and 10,001 times I exhale. Who cares? How many times you take a dump in your life? Who cares? You lose track after a while, whatever. That's not purpose. There's a lot more to it than that. There's a grander scope to things than just sitting around and watch other people chase excellence. Do it yourself. Anyway, got a bunch of other guys here that want to hop in. I got like 13 messages in the private chat. So you good, Jerry?
Yeah, good.
All right, brother. I'll see you
All
later.
right, Jerry, we'll see you soon.
Bitcoin closed above 40. Have a good night, guys.
All right, man. See you. Peace.
Later, Jerry.
All right. See you, Muff.
All right.
Play that too and start grabbing some of these other guys and give them a chance. Okay. Actually, wait. Let me go back to these super chats because a bunch of these piled up here. Glad you loved it. Okay. And my brother from another mother. Off topic. Red Barchetta Rush. Panama Van Halen. Little Red Corvette Prince, Lowrider War, Can't Drive 55, Sammy Hagar. Best car song is Kickstart My Heart by Motley Crue. I drove a LaFerrari 204 miles an hour on Bruntingthorpe Airstrip in the United Kingdom in 2016. I have a video on my YouTube channel that I uploaded. You can go look for it. That was a bucket list item, man. I wanted to do over 200 miles an hour while listening to Motley Crue's Kickstart My Heart. Done. Cross it off the list. That's what I'm talking about when I'm saying, like, you know, chase excellence. Put your dent in the universe. Find interesting things that you want to do and then go and do them. Make shit happen for yourself. I wanted to do that. Like, I created a bucket list and I was like, I like fast cars, want to drive an exotic to 200 miles an hour. We're going to fucking do it. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick and just kind of give you like the quick visual while I'm talking about these other super chats here. You guys understand exactly what I am talking about here, man. There it is. There it is. All right, I'll put up on the screen as soon as that ad ends because those are always a pain in the ass. So that's my story on the car thing. Little Cosette Crew, how do you become a member again and be able to chat? Just a membership button at the bottom. I know that YouTube has it available in almost all countries now. There may be a country that it's not available in. So I don't know where you live, but yeah. Okay, boom. And let's add the screen share. Hang on, oh, there we go. Add to stream. So you can watch the start of the video, but it says Hypercar Holy Trinity 200 mile an hour challenge. Get rid of that. So this is such a funny thing to see right now. But come on, go full screen. There we go. I was crunched in. So that's a Lamborghini Aventador, and with the helmet on, you're like this, and you're pushed into the seat. You can kind of see it here when I put it back on the screen, but that's my seating position. So that's me there in the driver's seat. So this was in the UK, so the cars were obviously right-hand drive. Most of them were anyway, but that was the Aventador, and this is the Enzo. What else did we have here? There was a LaFerrari. Okay, so this is the LaFerrari. And I'll just let this play while I'm talking to you to tell you why this is important. Because bucket list item shit is fucking fun. Come on, keep going. The car's not even rolling yet. Okay, so he's giving me all this instruction all this entire time, telling me how to do things, how to recharge the battery to get the most out of the KERS system when you accelerate. And so this is the taxi part of the runway. We're doing, I'm just going to read out the speed, like 80 miles an hour. There's some stuff on the side there. So this is still taxiing towards the end of the runway. We're doing 80 miles an hour and coming around. This is where planes would basically just, you know, kind of taxi around. And then you can see over here, there's a plane just kind of parked on the side here, part of a fuselage. They'd line up and just light up the fucking thing on full throttle and go. So pedals down flat, 100 miles an hour, 120, 140, 160. And this whole time I'm listening to Motley Crue's Kickstart My Heart. You can see the speaker there in his lap. 190. And by the time you hit 190, the car does not accelerate as fast as it did at 100. So I'm at 195. Thing's fucking flying. 200, hit it. Anyway, got the car up to 204. Okay, that's a fucking bucket list item. Like that's, you know, that's doing something that's interesting. I needed to do that. You figure out what that looks like for you. Okay, you can copy that. I don't care. You can do whatever you want, but you figure out what it looks like for you to do something of some significance. If you're sitting around watching other people chase excellence, or you're sitting around watching somebody that you can't evaluate because you can't consider the source, you don't know what they do with their life, you don't know what they look like. Are they even fucking fit? Okay. Or are they part of the 60% of the North American population that's morbidly obese, telling you not to bother and it's not worth playing the game? Right? That's my point. Anyway, remember the chat. Riffs, The Abyss. Cheers, brothers. Let's crush this week. Guys, I want you to read 2 books. Tim Grover wrote a book called Relentless, and he followed it up. It just came out, called Winning. I've been listening to Winning. I listened to Relentless in, I think, 2014. I got to go back to it and revisit it. Let's not talk about crushing. Let's not talk about doing things. Let's do them. Let's make them fucking happen. A lot of people talk about crushing and doing things, and when you start to pay attention to what Tim talks about in his books, because he was a trainer for NBA players, like a one-on-one trainer. He dealt with guys like Michael Jordan. If you watch The Last Dance on Netflix, he's quoted in it. Kobe, you know, as well. And there was no talk of let's crush it. It was like all action. Anybody that talked was either forced to deliver or gotten rid of. Like, you want to talk about relentless, like actually doing fucking something of some significance, read those books and understand the difference between sitting around in the fucking stadium as a spectator doing nothing with your time and getting on the floor and playing the game and actually racking up some wins, right? Huge difference. Huge difference. Devin says there's no shortcuts to life. Easy money leads to terrible long-term consequences. Do the work, like some real smart guy once said. Cal Al, hey Rich, Robert Kiyosaki mentioned you before the Trainwreck YouTube series during Rollo and Fresh's interview today. I'm learning, applying a lot from you. You're welcome, brother. Appreciate that. Keith, Deadpool. The problem with the red pill wankery, that's another good way to put it, you know, it's masturbation, wankery, whatever, is that the men who participate in it had a chance to gain a sense of direction. Instead, they spin a pool of red pill knowledge. They can't compartmentalize information. He's right. Once you take the red pill, once you unplug from the comforting lies and you accept the uncomfortable truth of the world as men must face it, and that's not just with women, again, that comes to money and self-care and many other things that tie into that. You just can't, you know, sit back and just be like, well, this is too much work, I'm not going to do anything. You can. Many choose to do so. But there's leaders, there's followers, and there's people that get out of the way. If you ain't leading or following, get out of the way. Okay? Because sitting around, pointing and sputtering, it's silly. It's not a good use of your time. Go play a video game or something. You know, entertain yourself in some other way. All right, that was Deadpool catching up here. Combat sports will change your life. Dude, I've been saying this forever. There's a chapter in my book on this. It will. I did not believe this. I did not get involved until about 3.5 years ago, maybe 4 years ago. And I got involved because I realized that as I, you know, became free to travel in about 8 to 10 years, you know, kids got to grow up, right? You know, send her off, you know, just set her straight. When I'm able to go about the world, I'm going to be going to places where I'm probably not going to be able to carry a weapon. And I'm probably going to be confronted by somebody that could potentially do some harm, or more than one person. Can I defend myself? I'm strong as fuck. You know, I can bench press 3 plates. I can squat. I can do all that stuff. But can I, like, do I have the fighting skills? And I realized I didn't. And that's when I started to, you know, get into combat sports. Started with Krav Maga. I've been doing boxing for the last year. It's been amazing. Make sure you emphasize frequent sparring. Absolutely. I'm in there 3, sometimes 4 days a week now. Get comfortable with confrontation, combat, and muscles. Yeah. Like, do something useful with that strength if you've accumulated it. It's not just about walking around and looking big with your lats spread out and all that sort of stuff. You got to, like, you want to be an effective combatant should the need be called upon you. Nobody likes meek men that, cower and hide and aren't able to do anything, right? You got to have something going on there. And not a lot of people talk about that, man. They're talking about other shit like, yeah, bitches ain't shit but hoes and tricks. Or it's like, see, it just ain't worth it. This guy, Rich Cooper, is a snake oil salesman. Dude, I ain't selling anything. Nothing. You want to buy a crypto course, get it. If you don't, sit on the sidelines, stay poor. I don't give a fuck, right? Can you elaborate on talent versus purpose? So talent versus gift. So substitute purpose for gift. Talent is something that you're good at. So I'm really good at working with my hands. I've got another YouTube channel that I set up that I haven't really uploaded much more to. I think it's called Dad Hammer. And just as I've been going about doing some shit around the house, hanging a chin-up bar, swapping out the summer tires for the snow tires, storing a lawnmower or a snowblower, for the winter, what needs to be done. I can do all the shit, and I actually have the talent to do a lot of it, but it's not a good use of my time because if I'm going to do it to make money, then I'm exchanging an hour of my time for a block of money, which isn't that significant in the sense where it's going to have much of an impact. But I've also discovered that I have a gift. I didn't know who Rollo fucking Tomasi was. I didn't know about So Suave Forum. I didn't know about any of that stuff until 2016 or 17 or so, I think. I was still red pilled to some degree in some things that I knew. Like I was a plugged in alpha, but unplugging from all the lies just changed everything for me. And I realized, wow, this is a gift, man. This is like a superpower if you use it. But I'm the kind of guy that when I come across useful information, I use it. I didn't know there was a lot of guys that would come across, useful information, but not use it and instead complain about it or whinge about it or sulk about it. And again, I don't think that's a great use of the time. And that's why I'm talking about this sitting out versus playing the game notion. Rich, how is it that people fall into entrepreneurship? You don't fall into entrepreneurship, bro. It's a choice, man. It's a choice that you got to make. People fall into jobs, jobs, just over broke. I think it was Kevin O'Leary or somebody else that said that a salary is something that they give you to forget about your dreams. There are many iconic stories where something happens and things take off. Abstract puzzle, love it. If you want to come across really good storytelling in that sense, Did You Know, man? Read Richard Branson's Losing My Virginity. Read The Everything Story, which is about Jeff Bezos. Shoe Dog is on Nike. Really interesting stuff. If you're going to use your time for anything, it's my view you should use it to study excellence. Don't use it to watch red meat or bitches ain't shit but hoes and tricks, episode number 317. You know what I'm saying? Like, use it on something productive so you can level yourself up. That's where I think the ROI is anyway. But what do I know? Some content says it's easy to say than do. We need control of our emotions first, then we can talk about real change. Sure, dude. That sounds a lot like complicating your life and then justifying why you do it. Hey, we got Garen Phillips in the house. If you guys don't know, he did an interview with me on his YouTube channel a couple of months ago, actually, but it just released it, so you can look it up if you want to see that. All right, let me get back to the questions in the background here. I've been chopping it up for about an hour. Let me see what we got here. Fuck, oh, I missed another super. Refocus it on my life to indulge in your videos and your book. I'm curious to know your knowledge in the beginning stages and keeping persistent. What knowledge specifically do you want to know about? Persistency, like, there's always guys that are like asking about motivation. How do I get motivated? I need to get motivated to do something. I need to be persistent and this goal. Bottom line is, if you don't want it bad enough, you're not going to do the work. You're either going to find a way to make it happen, or you're going to find an excuse as to why it didn't happen. It's as simple as that. That's really what it just boils down to. I'm a simple man. I like to simplify things for you guys. All right, let me see what we got here for the questions. Question you get to need. There was a guy that asked, damn, you guys. Okay, slow down with the writing back here, guys. I got to go through all this. No direction. Fine. See, again, how do I find direction? Just do stuff, guys. In the absence of clarity, just move. Just do stuff. So I'll tell the story again. How did I discover my gift? which is maybe what your question is. I didn't like what I was doing with my debt business. I knew that I loved entrepreneurship and being around entrepreneurs and fast cars. I was at an event. James Altucher, he has a blog. If you don't know who he is, he's also a great author. He wrote a book called Choose Yourself. Read it. Great chess player as well. He said at the event, he says, take your ideas, let them have some idea sex, and come up with something from that. So I thought to myself, all right, I see all these guys. This is around 2013, 14. I see these guys doing YouTube. It seems like an interesting thing. I was sitting there with Dave Asprey to my life, to my left, and James Clear to my right. We're doing these workshops. I'm like, fuck yeah, entrepreneurship in cars, entrepreneurs in cars. All right, so let's do interviews with entrepreneurs in their cars. Then I ran out of friends and cars to do content on, because that, you lose that very quickly, apparently. And then I had a traumatic event in my own life, went through my divorce, had the red pilling with my business. I talk about all this stuff in the introduction of my book, by the way. It's in the warm up to, lead up to all the other stuff. Unplugged Alpha. It's available on Amazon, print, Kindle, and Audible. Plug there. But, I kind of went through my own red pilling with the divorce, with the, with what happened with my business, with the lobbyist work and all the stuff that I did there for almost 2 years. Spent like 50 or 60 grand on that bullshit. That was a waste of time. The red pilling that came out of the single mommy, scenario that I dated for a few years after my divorce. And then I kind of tripped in all this stuff, and I'm like, holy shit, man, this all adds up now. This all makes sense. And then I just started to apply it and then share those stories, coaching guys, putting out videos, speaking, all that stuff. And here I am today. And that's how I tripped into my gift, right? You just have to, in the absence of clarity, do something. I didn't know what I wanted to do. All I knew was I did not want to continue to work in the business that I created. So I started doing other things while simultaneously running the business and doing an exit. So it was interesting, man. You just, again, in the absence of clarity, start moving, start doing something. Chris Amy, what's up, bro? He says, always focus on the man in the mirror, always improve yourself. The only person who you need to be accountable for is yourself. Hell of a great book, Rich. Would love to share my story one day. If you want to click the join link, you can hop in anytime, Chris. Hop in and ask a question. There it is. Losers talk plans, winners talk track records. I'm going to give a quick shout out here to Ed Lattimore, professional retired boxer. He said something earlier this afternoon. He said, winners bust their asses to reach the mountaintop. Losers declare where they're standing to be the summit and want recognition for it. Okay? Let's marinate on that shit for a little bit. Let me go back to the private chat. Okay, let's see if I can find you guys. Okay, Frank, where are you? Are you still here, Frank? Frank, do you have a camera, Frank? I see you in the waiting area, but your mic has a line through it. Yeah, you're there? Okay. I'm gonna add you to the stream. So he says, I get that you want people to do the work and not complain how hard it is. I'll give you a quick bio of myself. Stage 4 jaw cancer survivor, going through the final stages of my divorce right now. The ex couldn't handle the PTSD from my traumatic experiences and my multiple surgeries, so she gave me the boot, and another simp moved in, impregnated her to top it off. That's where my red pill journey began. So what's going on?
Hi, not too much. Yeah, I am glad to be here, be honored, humble to be here.
Cool, man. Glad to see you.
Likewise. So yeah, I discovered you through Fresh and Fit.
Okay.
Shout out to Myron Gaines, and yeah, and by the way,
You got the book?
oh yeah,
Attaboy.
yeah, I just finished Aaron Clary's Bachelor Pad Economics. That's a real good read. Like
It is. Yeah, I always recommend that.
Oh, especially if you want to like go down to minimum, like live like by a minimum. And
So let me ask you this, Frank. So sitting out versus playing the game. I mean, you've had some shit that went sideways for you. I mean, we all have. Like I've talked about the scars on my arms, before. You can, I mean, I'm trying to get the angle right, but
you and me both, brother.
3rd degree burns, both arms. Okay. You can see that one there. It's on my chest here and here, a little bit on my neck. We go through shit as men. And I've said this before, and I mentioned in the book, women don't care about your struggles. They hang out at the finish line and they pick the winner. For you, you lived that example when you had your, jaw cancer. right? Wife bounced on you. So what lessons have you got to share with guys today? What do you want to tell them?
Well, right now, since like after this whole shit happened to me, I thought two ways to myself. Well, actually, I did. I'm going to keep it a stack with you. I did contemplate on suicide, and I thought about it, and I was like, you know what? If I would have off myself, okay, my family would grieve. My mother would probably die at an earlier age due to the stress that my suicide would put her through. And by 6 months to a year, I'll just be a forgotten memory. No fucking way. No effing way that I am going down like that. So I just say, you know what? I have a problem and I need to fix something about myself. And I can't remember how I picked up this book. I ended up reading 12 Rules for Life by Jordan Peterson. And ever since I've read that, I can actually figure out the order and chaos in my life. Because to me, in my opinion, like that's what pretty much the meaning of life is. Like you gotta like navigate through the order and chaos in your life. Like you cannot like avoid the drama that's going to happen.
Chaos is inevitable as a man. You're always going to have chaos.
Exactly. So I live my life through like, try to avoid chaos, trying to avoid trouble. And someone like Andrew Tate, Corvo Tate, once said, like, if you avoid trouble, you are looking for trouble. And that's just, as soon as he said that, I was like, wow, that really.
He gets a lot of flack too, and he's an all right guy.
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually saw him on Fresh and Fit. Like, I'm a FNF high tier member. That's all. I also got introduced to you. And yeah, so anyways, by doing the work, I just decided to, like, you know what? Forget women. Like, especially with like going through another surgery, like I looked a lot worse. During like the divorce procedure, I just gone through my second or third surgery. No, second surgery was doing a biopsy because they thought the cancer grew back, which they didn't. So the third surgery was pretty much putting new skin on since the after effects of the radiation.
Where did they graft the skin from? Was it from thigh? Or
hang on, I'll show you right here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so they had to reconstruct me a new jaw out of my fibula.
Yeah.
Because the cancer pretty much destroyed like this part of my face. So that's why I can kind of relate to people with who have Bell's palsy.
Yeah.
And
so I mean, like, what's your strategy in life right now, right?
Oh, right now is my figure is if you put like work on yourself and just focus on your purpose, like you will actually be more happy yourself than you think. Like, for example, I learned how. I mean,
like, you would be a great candidate for the whole black pill narrative, right? Because of jaw surgery, you're disfigured, sort of thing. In that sense, like I would be too. With my scars, because I love to recruit, new miserable members to sulk with together. But why didn't you fall down that rabbit hole? Like, why did you choose to do the work? Is I guess what I'm asking.
Well. Because like for like years and years, I've always complained about, why do women act like this or why do people do certain ways, like blah blah, like complaining rather than finding a solution and learn how to, like, I don't know, make a life navigation system to learn how to navigate around the bullshit. And just I don't know, it's just I don't know how to put this in words, but I guess
sometimes it's tough.
Pardon me?
Sometimes it's tough to articulate.
Oh yes, it is. It really is tough to articulate.
But I mean, like, I can tell by looking at you, I can tell by your surroundings that you're on something, right? Like you've got some level of organization and some direction going on for you. You're not sitting there sulking. I mean, you were talking about taking steps to a permanent solution to a temporary problem in your life is how I like to kind of translate the talk of suicide. I've been there, I talked about it in the opening chapter of my book as well, too. I'm sure you read that as well. It fucking sucks. And, it can take you to a dark, shitty place. I'd rather have guys sitting out watching other people chase excellence and take that step. But there's a lot of work that needs to be done, as a man. And the sooner that you realize that, the easier your life is going to be. The harder you are on yourself, the easier your life will be. Would you agree with that?
I 100% agree. And one thing I've learned is I was always a negative talker about myself. I realized that in the past I've never respected myself in a way.
Mm-hmm.
I was a huge people pleaser in the past. Like I always wanted people.
Were you a nice guy, like no more Mr. Nice Guy sort of stuff?
Oh yeah, another thing. Shout out to Dr. Robert Glover, No More Mr. Nice Guy. Pick up that book.
Yeah,
one of the best books I've ever read.
Yeah, it's great.
Especially that one part where he says, "If it frightens you, do it."
Mm-hmm.
That's when I cut off the ex-wife. She was using my my Bell digital box because I kind of I was being blue pilled with her because I kind of want to get back together with her. But as soon as I found out she's like dating another guy behind my back, cut that shit right off.
Yeah,
because I knew she was gonna be pissed, and dude, she lost her shit, man.
Mm-hmm.
Looking back at it, best
Good.
thing I've ever done.
Good for you. Good. You got any closing words before I swap you out? Because I got a bunch of people waiting in the back.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, it's just if life comes to if your life turns to shit, if you have a bad day, just remember it's only temporary. It's not the end of the world. You will push through it. Look at me. I'm still going out talking to people. I'm actually getting on the horse, the horse again, going on to the dating world.
Mm-hmm.
Right now I'm just going out, trying to talk to people, get that social anxiety out of me.
Mm-hmm.
Get a dog, by the way, huge game changer. It doesn't matter which dog. Yeah, it doesn't matter which dog, as long as it's a cute dog. So follow Fresh Prince CEO for any of that stuff.
Yeah, he's got a cool pup.
Yes, he does.
You know what, Frank? One of the things I was thinking about as you were just closing with that was my granddad used to say, there's always somebody out there that would trade their life for yours, no matter how bad your day is, no matter how shitty you think things are going for you right now. There's always going to be somebody out there that would rather live the shit that you think you're living right now because it's better than what they got. So just think about that, guys. Right? All right, Frank, I'll let you go, and we'll talk to you later. Peace. All right, let's see what else we got going on here. Make sure I'm caught up. Let's see what Garen's got. Got a dip rich for every dude not taking action. Red pill is real AF. Been red pill 8 years. Went from 9 to 5 to 246,000 YouTube and total freedom. It works. Thanks for popping in, bro. Appreciate it. Thanks for the chime in. And if you guys want to see the interview that I did with him, go check out his channel. It was put up in the last week or so. Alan, where's Alan? Are you still here, Alan? There you are. Alan says, one thing I'm noticing is how much cringe there is. People looking for a reason to blame external, but not looking at themselves. So they build up one only to follow. Here, I'll pull you in. Let you kind of expand on that. How you doing, bud?
No worries, Matt. Very good.
Yeah.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, loud and clear, man. So what did you want to say about that?
So what I've noticed in all spheres of life, back from health, martial arts, gaming, work, people find someone that they latch onto someone, and so that they latch on that person, and that person becomes everything. You saw it with the Jordan Peterson acolytes. You saw it with, you see it with Rollo people. You see it with fresh and fit people. What happens is that the moment something changes that doesn't quite fit their worldview, they crash and burn. They're either all in or out. I went to a seminar, God knows how many years ago. When you're in finance, you go to conferences all the time. And there was a baker from the middle of nowhere in Australia, and he said at the start, take what you like, leave the rest behind. And that's something I've done with everything I see. So, take the bits that work for you, leave it behind. I struggle to watch a lot of these for the train work Rex because so many people coming on, it's just cringe. I have a very low cringe threshold because I've got shit to do. I mean, my staff are out at the moment. My clients is postponed, so I've got the opportunity to chat. But I got shit to do. I don't want to watch someone complaining and they're not doing anything about it. And so one of the things I've learned over the years, and I see, is you've got to take responsibility. Is that internal versus external locus of control? People come in and say, well, I fell into debt. Like, you didn't fall into shit.
No, you made bad choices.
You made tons of bad choices, and you keep making them. You're going to have to change your lifestyle to get better. Oh, I thought you were going to fix it. Like, I'm not going to fix stuff. I'm going to advise you. So people refuse to take responsibility. And so when they see, I guess, the new Messiah, oh, it's this new concept, red pill, great, that'll fix everything. They forget that actually it's internal. So the challenging thing I watch with watching stuff with people calling in is around the fact that they're looking for you to provide the solution, not necessarily a path of work. And you know, as you've been talking about with building your business and switching into martial arts, I mean, I've got 30 years of martial arts under my belt. You know, white belts aren't made. You know, black belts are start as white belts. You've got to start somewhere. So yeah, it's just good that I guess, you know, I've stepped away from a lot of the people, you know, that I just don't have time to watch, because I'm interested in actionable stuff, hearing about excellence, people who are achieving stuff, people that are going to make me maybe be a little envious enough to go, right, you know, maybe I've gotten a bit comfortable, right? Let's push the next thing, right? Last financial year was the best, was probably better than my first 10 years in business combined. But I'm not there yet, so therefore I want to listen to people who I go, oh shit, they're actually doing so much better than me. I gotta keep going, right? And you'll see that in the dojo, I guess, as well, right? You know, you know, people who are better than you, they kick your ass. Literally, you either get better or you get beat. So, you know, it's crazy out there.
Awesome, man. Yeah, appreciate you chiming in and sharing those experiences and stories. All right, so Tom Tastilli, I see a message here from you. Alan, I'm gonna let you go. Okay, I'll talk to you soon.
See you, mate. Take care, mate. See you, mate.
Peace. Tom, what was your question? You got a new to Manosphere question. I previously started focusing on working on myself, and your content is confirmed. All right, this is on topic. This is on the sitting out versus playing the game.
Hi. So can you hear me, Rich?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. It's nice to talk to you. I'm fairly new to the Manosphere. I actually came in basically trying to find what alpha was, actually.
Okay.
Because I knew a lot of men that were claiming to be alpha.
What did you find when you search for alpha? Like, what did you come across?
There was a video from some doctor about gorillas, or talking scientifically about alpha. And then I think I ended up Rollo's page. I had been reading Jack Donovan's stuff. So, you know, I've read all through his book, his new book. I'm reading that. I just finished listening to yours. Almost got about 8 minutes left. I have a 45-minute commute to work, so I listen to that. But what I discovered is that I got red pilled a long time ago in my divorce. Didn't really realize I did.
Yeah.
And I spun plates. I've never really had a real hard time dating women, so that's not what brought me here. It was more trying to understand, well, what is alpha and what is beta? Because I never really felt like I was an alpha. I didn't feel like a beta either. And
there's also like blue pilled alphas. There's red pilled betas too, right? Yeah.
And what I was seeing is a lot of guys that I saw were claiming alpha were kind of just, they were weak men who were overcompensating and saying, no, I'm alpha, I'm strong, and all these things. But they're in the inside, they really weren't alpha because they were being run around, they were weak, they were emotional, they're all these kind of things. So it didn't appeal to me. And then now found you, same kind of thing, picked up your book. And what I realized is, you know, I've been divorced 9 years now. Spun plates for about the first 5, then started getting LTRs, not too much, but never had a problem kind of getting into the LTR and frame, but losing the frame in the LTR was always kind of the thing
that's really common for dudes, man. You know, the betatization process happens to most men in an LTR.
And then, but I'd always kind of, sometimes I wouldn't be fully baited, because I would, at some point they'd sort of draw an ultimatum and I'd go, no, I'm not doing that. So you can backstand, I'm done.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until I started listening to you and Rollo and all them that all these things I'd kind of discovered and learned all came together. And it was like you guys put words into what I had learned and also made a lot of clarity in it. So thank you for that. I appreciate that.
Well, I found the same thing too, to be honest with you. Like that's how I tripped into it. Like I got red pilled in my divorce. I got red pilled with some business shit. I got red pilled with the single mommy breakup sort of thing. It was just reading Rollo's book that just kind of like, oh, all of this makes a lot more sense now. Now I can see the code in the matrix.
Yeah. And that's exactly what happened. It is, you guys basically just, it was the code. It was like it clicked on. I went, wow, this all makes sense now. There's a lot of voices in the Manosphere right now, and just kind of walking into it very new. There is so much drama that I'm seeing.
There's a ton, dude. It's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. And
I've never seen this anywhere else before either.
I've seen it. So my early years, I was involved in church. And you see kind of some of that stuff with that. And I feel like the same thing that goes on there is happening here, which is that somebody finds their person, wherever it is, there, as the guy was saying
They're
before,
a shepherd. It's like
cult leader.
sheep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like sheep looking for a shepherd. So they find their shepherd.
Yeah. And this person can do no wrong. He only does right. And then everybody else, there's any kind of conflict, they don't hold it loosely. They don't go, like the last guy was saying.
I have a question for you. Like when, like many of these people that are part and parcel of the whole manufacturing of drama, like they're there, like they're broadcasting themselves. But do you evaluate them and consider the source as they like shill their stories, or is it not considered at all? I'm just wondering where your head's at with that.
Yeah, I mean, I listen to them and I go, I mean,
because I mean, like I do this by default now. Like I always analyze people like so carefully when they're telling me something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'm like,
yeah.
Would I want to trade my life with yours? Like, do I want to like walk a mile in your shoes?
Or are you pursuing the things that I'm trying to pursue? Can you speak to me into the things that I'm trying to do?
Would you want to live in their body? Would you want to live their life? Would you want to live where they live? You know?
Are your values the similar values to me? Like, I'll be honest with you, I'm not really trying to chase and pick up women. I've never really had a problem with it. And that's not bragging.
As you shouldn't. Yeah.
I was pretty charming and relatively good looking. I've never been real heavily overweight, relatively fit, had, a hard work ethic, good job. So that wasn't really a thing. The manosphere was really just me trying to figure out what alpha was. And it was and
what did you learn? Like, what did you arrive at for that?
What I really discovered with alpha was that and what's kind of also reverberated was it's not showing. And I think the biggest way to put it is chasing excellence, not chasing women. And I think it's also holding frame, all those things. I go, oh, that is alpha. You basically are a man of, I'm about my destiny. I'm about my tribe. For me, I've got 2 daughters. So for me, it's my family, my career. This is where I'm coming. If I have a woman, you're complimenting me. If you're taking from me at all, and if you're not bringing value, I don't need you. And I feel like that is alpha. Somebody who has the capacity to protect. I have previous law enforcement experience. I did fighting, something I want to get back into.
I like Jack Donovan's summary too, because I think he uses words like strength, courage, mastery, honor.
Right? Yeah, that's big. And
there's a lot of dishonorable men out there where you can vouch for them, you can do things for them, and they'll just turn around and be like, fuck you, right?
Yeah, he talks about being a good man and then also being good at being
versus being good at it. Yeah, exactly.
You want to do both. You want to be good at being a man.
I got to get Jack Donovan on again, at some point. I haven't brought him on with a collab for a while.
Yeah, stuff's real good. I think he does a really good job at breaking up what alpha is, and also kind of, especially in the world we live in, this empire of nothing that he talks about. It really kind of, it's about, and that tribalism, that find your people, and that's where honor is, and that's where your honor comes from. So, that's where I discovered what alpha was, is all of that, and I'm just kind of cruising along. But I think even in listening to you, I like most of what you say. There's some things I'm like, okay, I don't know that I totally am behind that, but whatever. I don't live and die in your hill. I take what I can from you and go, that's good stuff. I like that. The stuff I was like, I don't know that I'm going to be good at that.
I think that's what you should do, because it's like, it's why I have more than one author on this shelf over here. It's why I have a much bigger bookshelf in the other room. But it's like, it's like an a la carte restaurant. Like, take what you want from each, part of the menu and roll with that. You don't have to like take it hook, line, and sinker from one guy all the time.
Yeah, and everything they say doesn't have to be the gospel to you. Yeah, like I like some Jordan Peterson stuff. I liked Rollo's book. I'm loving your book. I liked Jack Donovan's book. I think it's good to have a lot from a lot of different people. All the people though that are getting drudged down in this drama of oh, this person does this and oh, they're doing that. Just stay away from it. Just get away.
Jerry Springer for men, man.
It really is. And it reminds me of women's behavior. The cattiness and the
very
gossip.
Catty. It's very feminine, yeah.
And that's the one side of this whole manosphere, what you guys are calling it, that it to me goes, this is not this is not the manosphere that I would think it would be. This is like a woman's sphere.
Right, the Mano Swamp. That's what it's turned into. So that's why, like you take what you can from it. You unplug from the lies. You get on. You get in the arena. You get on the floor. You play the game, and come back and take information as you need it. Update beliefs if you need to talk to somebody. There's lots of guys that will offer their time for consults. I don't know that. I talk to guys like Paul, Rollo, and Ryan. And like the other Rule Zero guys, of course, on, stuff that matters when it comes to like actual red pill theories.
Right.
But there's other guys out there that are smarter than them on subjects that they're not well versed on. Right. So you go and find those great people, but don't go and get like another thing that I want to say, guys, is don't go and get your information from somebody that you can't evaluate, which I've already covered. Consider the source. And two, have they lived like part of life? Right. Like I always used to try to get my best information when I started out as an entrepreneur in my very, very early 30s. I think I was 30 or 31 at the time. And all of my mentors, they were all 50, 60. They were a lot older than me. Right. And it's because they got a little bit of gray in their beard. They've lost their hair. They've had some stress. They've been through a divorce, maybe 3 of them. And they've got some advice to like give you along the way. Whereas, some 29-year-old guy hasn't really gone there yet. I'm not saying I'm not trying to discount it and say that it's absolute rubbish, but you're probably going to get better information from a guy that's older.
But it also, I feel like there might be stuff right now that I'm listening to that I go, I'm not really feeling that. But in 5 years, I might be in a different place. And now this stuff, now this is relevant to me.
Yeah.
So, like the Fresh Fit guys, those guys are young. They're more kind of into picking up girls, stuff like that. I've listened to
that's
stuff.
More of the red meat
it.
sort of stuff, like the indignation. Hey, let's make an example out of these bitches sort of thing.
Yeah. And I guess it's appealing to some people. I'm not going to put them down. They're great. For what they do. They're obviously very successful. They are about their purpose. I get it. But in the place I'm at in my life, it doesn't speak to me as much. And that's okay. That doesn't discount them. It just says, this isn't for me at the moment. And I think that's where I think this cattiness comes in. Where it's, if everyone just kind of goes like, it's okay, you're doing your thing. And I think that's, if you're doing your thing and it is successful and you're doing it well, it will be successful. If you're doing catty stuff, it's going to turn people off and you're going to sink. And I think, over time.
Yeah, you invite drama, you're always going to attract more of that, aren't you? The thing that a lot of guys don't understand when it comes to publicly broadcasting stuff like this, I deal with it, I'm sure everybody else does, is that there's an old English term, like water off a duck's back. So I remember when I was a kid, I lived in England. My granddad would have to listen to me whine about it raining, and he'd have to say, like, Richard, it's got to be like water off a duck's back sort of thing. You just have to ignore it. It's just part and parcel of life. I think there's a few quotes in some of Robert Greene's books where he talks about idiots just being like rocks. They're just there. They're just a part of life. You just have to accept them. They're around you. They're going to do their thing. They don't add any value to you. You just don't give them any of your time or resources. And that's the best way that you can manage it.
Your part of your book about fucks given.
Yeah, managing your fucks.
Because I drive 45 minutes to work, and there's a lot of dumb drivers because we live in a town. There's snowbirds that come down here from Canada, from Minnesota. I'm in Arizona. And oh my God, they're awful on the road. And I get so angry. And you're talking about, well, are you giving your fucks to this driver? And I thought, it's very true.
Do they even notice that you get mad?
No, they don't care.
Of course not.
They have no clue.
Why bother? Dude, me and my brother used to talk about this. He still gets pretty bad road rage, and I used to get pissed off too when I was younger, and that's why I included that part in the book too, because I noticed that it was such a bad use of my time when I was driving. And then that's when I switched to listening to audio recordings. I basically turned my car into a university, and I realized this is a way better use of my attention and resources to listen to something while I'm commuting, learn. And it's like, okay, let's move on to the next book. And it's like, dude, I was devouring like content like crazy, podcasts, books, and I was just taking it all in. And my brother, I got in his car one time after doing this for several months, and it's like he had a spaz over somebody cutting in, in front of him within 5 or 10 minutes drive. I'm like, dude, I'm not driving with you again, man. I'm just going to take my own car. I'll just meet you there.
And then when you arrive here at today's destination, for me, when I get to work, I'm
It's
a
a lot
little
calmer.
drained. I'm pissed off. I'm not clear-headed. And what I do, I need to be clear-headed. Yeah, so I do the same thing. I'll listen to podcasts and stuff and realize I just need to chill out. You know, I don't need to get to work any faster. I go early. You know, it's just adapting my energy out of myself. And I think that goes with, you know, the same thing with these people. You know, if somebody's talking shit about you, or I'm sorry, I don't know if I can cuss. Someone's talking bad about you, something like that. Just don't let your fucks go to that.
That's it, man. All right. Appreciate
Thanks,
you
I
hopping
really
on,
appreciate
sharing
it.
some of that.
Appreciate
All right.
Olympia.
Thanks, Tom.
Good talking to you.
See ya. All right. I got question is, so Eric, are you still here? Eric Heschel. Eric. Looks like, is that you, Eric? Okay, with the hand up. Got it. Okay, so I'll bring you in next. Let me just make sure I'm caught up in the super chats here. Scroll. Here we go. Edward Taylor. People think being an alpha is being a jacked millionaire entrepreneur with tons of women, a Lambo. Really, it's just a mindset of being the best version of yourself and finding your own success. Yeah. You paint whatever that looks like for you, man. It could be, man, I felt like an alpha when I was driving my 2002 Subaru WRX and World Rally Blue with the software tune and the fucking 5-zigging wheels lowered with the big school bus exhaust sticking out the back with the pop and all that shit. I felt alpha back then too. You don't need a mid-engine supercar to feel like, you know, dude. You just keep growing. Just make sure that your life improves, you know, year after year, and you know, you're getting what you want out of it. James, if we think exactly alike, one of us is redundant. Yeah, most people will not think clearly, concisely, and get the results. Most people are sheep. It's just the reality of the thing. Look what's happened with the whole beer bug scamdemic, right? I don't need to talk about that. Okay, so Eric, where are you? My question is how to keep on the participatory side of red-black pill playing field. Sometimes it's hard not to get sour. All right, man, you're on.
Hi, Rich. How you doing today?
Good. What's shaking, brother?
Pretty good. I actually just started a new job today, so I'm pretty pumped at that. And thank you for having me on. I'm really honored. But on the topic, yeah, so as the previous gentleman mentioned, you know, Fresh and Fit, I respect them, but their content, you know, has, you know, it's kind of dangerous sometimes. It's dangerous to kind of get in this mindset that all these women are the same. And how can you navigate something?
Well, look, I mean, if you bring in low-tier, obnoxious, bratty women with an OnlyFans and an Instagram following and a high level of entitlement, then you throw some booze into them, you're going to, like, things are going to unfold, right? Like, there's some production involved in all of that, right?
That's definitely a good point. But, you know, I think also you also talk about, you know, in your book, divorce laws and about how it's really hard on men, you know, for custody. And so as even a young guy, that is something that I would like to do eventually. And I'm sure a lot of other guys want families, or that's something that they want. And so how do you navigate, you know, something that is kind of close to what your, you know, kind of what your meaning is, what your purpose you want to still.
No, I got you. I got you covered on this too. So this is something that comes up often, and I've mentioned this before, but this year I'm working on 2 courses. One is on how to navigate your divorce so you don't lose the farm. The other one is to deal with that specifically. Is a lot of guys are like, well, how do I minimize the risk if I want to have kids and I need a, you know, mother stock for that? And like, where do I live? Like, you know, how do I structure that? I'm gonna break it all down into a proper course. It's gonna be behind a paywall. There's gonna be a fee, but it's a hell of a lot fucking cheaper than going through the divorce grinder if you at least take some preparatory steps to getting into the slaughterhouse that you're walking into with some fucking enlightenment, you know, if you will. Right. So I've already talked to my Canadian lawyer to vet all the information that I've had. I've got a schedule and a call to my U.S. lawyer in family law again, so I can vet the information for the U.S. market, because I'm not going to, like, it would take way too long and it would cost way too much for me to make it specific to each state and each province in North America, which is where the biggest part of the population is. So I'm going to generalize it, but with the most important information, so that at least what you're looking to try to do, you're at least going to walk into it with, you know, like when you go and buy a car, you've gone and done the research, you know what the dealer paid for it, you know how much the warranty costs, you know, you've compared it to the other, like you at least walk into it informed. So if you're going to do something like have kids with a woman in North America, you've at least minimized the risk as much as possible.
Right. That is kind of the main, is mitigating the risk as
and
much
nobody's
as
doing
possible.
that. Nobody's
Right.
doing that. They're just feeding, like there's a lot of guys out there in the Mano Swamp feeding bullshit, and nobody's, aside from me that I'm thinking of. I mean, who else has been through the divorce grinder?
Well, I know Kevin Samuels is really kind of pushing for marriages. I don't know if you follow him at all.
Well, you know, Kevin's all right. Like, you know, bless him for what he's doing, but it's more entertainment, you know, than education.
Sure.
I mean, it's better than like the full-on red meat stuff, but
Right.
you get the point.
But yeah, it's still the point. Yeah. Yeah, I will look out for that. And that is, you know, something that I feel like myself and a lot of other younger guys are struggling with, is if that is something you're looking at, and you can kind of take care of yourself and put in the work so that you can potentially achieve that. How do you achieve that, not just initially, but long term? I'm not talking about 5-year marriage, then divorce, or just 5-year relationship. You know, I want, especially for the kids, you know, if I have kids or whatever, how to make sure that the kids
proper red pilling is going to be the most important part. How old are you, Eric?
26.
You're still young. You don't need to worry about this for probably 9-10 years. I mean, you don't even have to. I mean, you could have kids effectively in your 40s as long as you've done it with a younger woman who's healthy and fertile and all that sort of stuff.
Right.
That's not the big part. The big part for you is getting your head right so that you fully understand women. You understand their nature. You've experienced them. You don't need a notch count of 8,250 like some of these morons try to suggest. It's like, at least, you know, get through enough women, date enough women so that you've got it. You've also got to level yourself up as far as your worth. Like on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being the highest, like the best version of yourself, 1 being the worst, where do you put yourself today?
Right now, probably about a 5.
Right.
Got a lot.
So there's 5 whole points. I mean, you can double your worth between now and then. And if you have the knowledge and the skills about understanding women and minimizing the risk exposure from that component, then you'll be better off than the vast majority of the North American population. Because all they do is they're like, this girl touched my pee-pee, so I'm going to marry her. Come on, guys, let's go to the wedding now and make some babies. And that's how most guys operate, right? There's not many guys that will actually take a logical approach to it. Like, okay, this is fucking crazy. It's a big risk. I'm going to be smart and intelligent about this, and I'm going to vet. I'm going to spend some time with her for a couple of years to see what her true nature is. You know, let's get the full exposure on it. All of this stuff I'm going to cover, like all these steps in the course when I release it. So keep an eye out for that in the future. But right now, it's just like work on yourself. Get the clarity, work on yourself. Don't waste your time with bullshit. Have you gotten into combat sports? Have you learned, you know, like a combat effectiveness, you know, for that part of a man's life? Because that's important too.
Not yet. That is kind of the next stage. Like I said, new position. I'm about to move. I'm about to put a squat rack in my apartment. I'm about to put in the work every morning. I want to get in the community with either Krav Maga or some kind of mixed martial arts. I feel like putting on the weight, which is the hardest part for me, as you could probably tell.
I was the same way, man. I was a skinny dude. I was a skinny kid when I was young. But by about 23, 24, I got up to 203 pounds, man.
Yeah, I definitely know I could do it. It's just to keep in the food, to continue, you know, to discipline.
Lift, sleep.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm definitely looking at, you know, some kind of mixed martial arts for where I'm moving, and just trying to level up for myself, essentially. And obviously this is way far out in terms of, you know, when I'm 35 or plus, that's what I'm looking for. But it's just discouraging, you know, even now, just to see how everyone is kind of moving out here in society, and just kind of how it almost feels like it's set this way. The laws are set this way.
Don't worry about society. You have no control over that part of the universe. The only part of the universe you can control is yourself. Focus that energy and effort on yourself. That's the other thing that sends guys full on astray, is like, you get these dudes that are like, oh, we got to change divorce laws, and we got to protest, and we got to fix, we got to bring back certain, you know, religion of preference. It's like all of this like long laundry list of shit. It's like, don't, like, save your energy and use it on yourself, because that's where your ROI is going to come. Stop trying to change. Like, people want to change the world around them, but they're not willing to change themselves first. That's how lazy men are today.
That's a great point. That really is.
And it's not just men too. I mean, it's women also, but I'm mostly speaking to men when I'm on this channel. So
Right.
anyway, heads
Well,
up on that.
thank you for your time and everything you do. I appreciate it.
All right, Eric. Be good, brother. I'll talk to you later.
Thanks.
Bye. All right. Let me just catch up with the supers. Kareem, I'm going to bring you in last. Just give me a second here. Good. We're up to date, and we're going to wrap it up in a few minutes. I thought I'd just bring you in real quick, just to chop it up with you. How are you, man?
Yeah, how are you, Richard?
Good, good.
I'm great.
So what's on your mind tonight?
I got some few points regarding like theory versus practice.
Yeah.
Like during like back days when I was reading about economy, like my profession is business development, like since 11 years. I got like a great advice from Warren Farrell. Like, you know, he's a great investor. Like, and like you should listen to someone.
Are you talking
like
about
him.
Warren Buffett or Warren Farrell? Because Warren Farrell's a feminist.
Sorry, Warren Buffett. Yeah. Warren Buffett. Like the first advice he was saying is always invest in yourself. That's the first one. And Robert T. Kiyosaki, Rich Dad Poor Dad, like concentrate on this idea also in his book.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, definitely. So you always have to invest in yourself. On masculine level, investing is not a theory. You have to practice. You have to pick some heavy shit. Like I face a lot of guys. He knows everything about sports. Like he know the serial numbers of the athletes' underwears. Like he know how many grass they have in the football field. You know, really everything. But like when you look at him, he look like a land whale. He need a double sofa to sit in. Like, come on, you have a lot of knowledge, but you're not doing anything. You cannot run.
It's useless knowledge.
2 minutes.
It's like useless knowledge. Like, you know, these guys that like spend all this time studying. Like, one of the things that drives me nuts about my dad and my brother is they participate in this football fantasy league, and I'm like, you guys spend all this fucking time studying stats for your pretend fucking team. I'm like, what do you guys get out of that? Like a $200 pot of gold, you know, reward after spending all that time during the entire season. Oh, but it's fun. All right, fine.
Yeah, that's why especially like football here is very popular in Middle East. They all hate me when they ask me like, what about sport? What about football? I say, I do sport. I do not watch sport.
Yeah,
like that's a big difference. Yeah, I do like 3 or 4.
Don't watch other people chase excellence. Do it yourself. That's what the footballers are doing. But they managed to attract an entire stadium of people to sit there and watch them chase excellence.
Yeah, definitely. And there's like another psychological fact. It is very important to know about like a human male brain. Dr. Jordan Peterson mentioned it like a lot of time. The male brain enjoys pursuing the goal more than achieving it.
Yeah,
that's very important. Yeah. That's very important.
The climb to the top is where the dopamine hits come. When you're at the very top, you're like, oh, so I made it. So what's next? Let's climb that mountain over there. Now, I'm telling you, man, the same thing happens with cars, right? Like, there was a time when I was this 15-year-old kid sitting at the bus stop looking at cars driving by, and my favorite car at the time was a 1988 Chevrolet IROC convertible. I don't know if you ever saw those, you know, where you're at. But it was just, you know, it was this cool, like, you know, car with a rag top, and it's just like, I was like, that is so far out of reach, man. That's so much. It was like $23,000. That's so far out of reach. I'll never be able to. Like, to me, that was the Lamborghini.
Oh yeah,
right. And it's like, you know, you go from that to all these other cars after it. And now I'm sitting at a McLaren 720S. Right. And it's like, you know, what's after that now? Like $1 million like hypercar? Like, you can't even drive the fucking McLaren on the road. It's everything you do with it is fucking illegal, man.
Yeah, definitely. So while you're climbing or while you're in the combat pursuing your goal, your brain is releasing dopamine. You're really enjoying it. After you're hitting the target, like, okay, you will be in the peak like for 1-2 days, and then what? Like, man with no goal is a lost man, really. You can feel that by a lot of experience back there. And I want to mention like a great example. Like, you know, there's a self-made millionaire. His name is Nick Vujicic. That guy have no arm and no legs.
Oh yeah,
you remember?
yeah.
He's
a
very famous.
successful speaker. Yeah.
Yeah, this guy is a self-made millionaire with no arms, no legs.
Yeah.
Like the black pills will hate me for this. What is your fucking excuse? He doesn't have no arm and no leg. He's running 6 companies. He's
I do the
self-made
same
millionaire.
thing with Sean Stevenson. You know, he died a couple of years ago, but I had him on a few months, before he died. If you guys haven't seen that interview that I did with Sean Stevenson, look up Entrepreneurs in Cars plus Sean Stevenson in the search and you'll find it. It's, it's the same thing as that Nick guy story. He was, disfigured in a wheelchair. He's 3 feet tall. There's lots of guys that make something out of themselves despite the circumstances that they've had, delivered to them. Like my granddad said, he said, there's always somebody that would be willing to trade their life for whatever shit you think is going on right now. That's so bad. Right. So
that's a very great example.
Sulking is terrible.
If he was a black pills, like waking every morning, looking at their mirror. I don't have a white jar, so I will be crying in the corner for the rest of the day. Come on, guys. Like there is some humans with less than 10th of what you have of capabilities, and they achieve what they want.
Yeah,
that's it. Thank you for having me, Rich.
All right. See you soon, Kareem.
Take care.
All right, brother. Take care, man. If you guys don't, if you're Muslim, by the way, I think he broadcasts mostly in Arabic, and I did an interview in English on his channel, Coach Kareem. You can go look it up. So check it out. Shout out to him. He's a good guy. So I got to wrap up, guys. I got to head over to a private community broadcast I got for the 1%. So I got to just kind of wind down. Sorry to the guys that are sitting in the waiting area. It's difficult for me to get to everybody. So if you want to get in on the show, ideally have something that's on topic, because I'll always deal with those first and get in early. So, subscribe, hit the notification bell, all that good stuff. Garen, you got 2 minutes to drop your wisdom? Yeah. 2 minutes, bro. Drop it, man. Drop some pearls for these guys.
Can you guys hear me? I don't usually stream on this one. Okay.
Yeah, you're good.
All right. So real quick, I started reading Red Pill like 8 years ago. I struggled a lot with reading too much and consuming too much and then not applying. One of the things that I realized was that I was always trying to conquer the world every single day. Like I was always going out and just trying to do as much as possible. And then I would burn out and then I would fall off the wagon and then you don't really get any progress. What I realized with studying Red Pill and especially like compounding interest is it's not about what you do in a single day. It's what you do in an entire year. So if you just aim to do 1 or 2 things every day, like I called it the 1% rule. If you just work on 1% every single day, in 1 year, you're going to be 365% better than who you were when you started. And you would be amazed at how much you can get done and how much farther you can advance in just 1 year. So that's one thing. The other thing is you have to destroy your old identity. A lot of times to not get deep into psych, because I've only got a minute left. The mind is very much humans are very habit driven. Like you have an environment that you're in, and like, for example, if you play video games all the time and you sit down at a computer, you're going to play video games. So you have to break the old habits and the old identities of who you were. So if I used to always want to go work out, but I couldn't because I used to work a 10-hour job pouring molten metal, and it was very manual labor, exhausting and intense. And I would get home, take a shower, and then I'd be exhausted. I'd lay out and sleep, and I wouldn't do anything. So what I figured out how to do is I had to break that habit. I had to break the routine of doing that, and that allowed me to get to the gym and put on 20 pounds of muscle. And the way I did that is when I would get off work, I would just immediately go to the gym. I wouldn't even think, like, I'd be exhausted, I'd be tired, I wouldn't want to do it. I'd just say, shut the fuck up and go do it, because I said I was going to do it. And the last thing that you do is also punish yourself when you don't achieve what you're supposed to be doing. A lot of people understand that you should reward yourself when you do something good, but you should also punish yourself when you don't do what you say you're going to do, which also will increase your integrity and just the level of respect that you hold for yourself, and other people will kind of pick up on that. But I have a rule with lifting. It's called the 1 day rule. If I don't go lift and miss a day, I will force myself to lift the next day.
Can you see that?
Yes, pain is necessary. That is
Stop
that
being
is
a bitch. Pain is necessary. I wrote that down about 2 weeks ago. I can't remember what I was watching. It was a little clip with CT Fletcher, and if you don't know who he is, you should look him up. But yeah, that's absolutely what you're distilling it down to.
Yeah. So that book that I told you about, King, Magician, Warrior, Lover, one of the defining features of evaluating somebody between mature masculinity and immature masculinity is they accept pain and punishment as a part of life because they understand that is required to grow and become more than who you are. But that's way longer than 2 minutes. I wish I could go longer, but
real quick, how you liking David Buss's book?
Oh, it's fantastic. I'm 6 hours deep, and I mean I've already read it through Red Pill. I started in the Reddit TRP community. Consumed all that, so it's all the same stuff, but it's still a great refresher.
Yeah. It's a really good piece. All right, brother. See you, man.
All right.
Take care.
Talking to you.
Okay, so to everybody else that's still waiting in the area, Ryan, Dante, Madeline, Brand, I'll watch out for your names next Monday. If you guys want to pop in next Monday at 8 p.m., I'll get you to the front of the line. Just want to make sure I didn't miss any of the supers before I sign off real quick. Randy, hey, Rich, what advice do you have for a 26-year-old just finishing grad school? Is it safe to do import-export business? Wrong question, man. Wrong question. Call in next week, Randy, and I'll put you in on the show, and we'll chop it up. There's absolutely no way to give a useful answer to that super chat. Banners. Okay, there we are. So just over my shoulder, the channel title sponsor, Grondike Soap Company, Tactical Soap, pheromone infused, handmade, no endocrine disruptors. You can get them in sticks, soaps, and they also have a beard oil. I don't have the beard oil here because I keep using it in my beard, obviously, but high quality stuff. Check it out. You just go to coopersoap.com. If you're watching a replay, it'll be pinned in the top comment. You can just click that link and hop in and just grab some. I mean, you're showering anyway, so why wouldn't you? Hope you guys enjoyed the show. Be back next Monday. Do the work, man. Don't sit on the sidelines. Stop watching bullshit. Red meat's a waste of your time. Get lessons out of it, but most importantly, get in the ring and play the game. You want to listen to a good song after this? Guns N' Roses, Get in the Ring. Check it out. Anyway, we'll see you guys in a week's time for the next broadcast. I got some other pre-recorded stuff coming out this week. Keep an eye open, but we'll see you guys later. Peace out.